What's up, guys? It's Mr. Javed, and we are back on the Pokemon Showdown server. And I'm gonna just get this ball rolling. But before we go, I have a huge thing that you guys would love to hear about. So if you're a new player, you want to get good into Pokemon. If you're not even new, if you just want to get into tournaments, play versus opponents, just get that rush of excitement in somewhere else other than the ladder, but also in a place where you have people who want to see you grow, who know the information and want to challenge you to become better than you are today, which is all we want, right? As competitors, I recommend you click the link right now in the description and click and go into the Academy Discord. This is the best Pokemon Discord on planet Earth. And so what we're all about is helping you improve. That's it. That's it. Every top, man, I don't want to sound like, sure, okay, I may have created this server, but it's not my server. It's the server of the people, because you guys are the ones who, it's crazy. The level of crazy growth that I've seen as a result. Like, I don't want to take up 20 minutes of the video just showing all the people who were 1,200 yesterday and are now 1,800, right? So the growth is crazy, and ask anybody who's gone into the Academy PL and come out a couple weeks later. It's incredible. And so signups end very soon, October 15th. So go in the description right now. Pause the video right now. Go in the description, click and sign up. We're waiting to see you there. And I'm also gonna we're gonna take the best battle of the week. Subjective, I know, but take a battle each week, and then I'm gonna have it on the channel. So today's video might be ultra long. I haven't played in so long, and the way I'd like to play every day is another thing that comes up, and so, you know, I'm a little overwhelmed. I feel like, yeah, overwhelmed might be the right word. There are a lot of things that I need to get done, and it feels like it's just, I'm like, screw it. Right, instead of like, okay, I'm gonna find the perfect time to upload, I'm just gonna hop on the ladder and play. My Sword Jam account probably is dumb decayed right now, so this may be a super long video where I just play and get back adjusted to the ladder instead of trying to find the perfect time for shit. So if I make a ton of mistakes, they'll lessen as we go along, but it's all just coming. I'm just ready to get back on here, have some fun, man. This is Hurricane. What would Hurricane solve? Hurricane. Well, I'm just gonna keep it. This wasn't built for ladder. This was built for tour. Shout outs to Devin, but we're gonna make it do. If we need to change anything, we'll change it. I probably do want defog on this Moltres. On ladder, I don't think, unless something has changed, you know, I don't see Hurricane being super necessary. Okay, so Moltres in this game does well versus, we're really Volk weak, so I have to keep Garchomp at the utmost of health, or that thing is going to destroy me. So Toxicking it, and then Moltres 1v1s. Moltres also shuts down Jirachi. I'm not defensive, but most importantly, I think Melmetal, Conk. Okay, let's break this down in my left to right. What's Conk's purpose in this game? It's high offensive impact, right? And so that means it takes a lot of value from the opponent. So when Conk attacks, everything is hit super effectively except Volcarona, and everything dies if I click the right move. So Conk, high offensive value. Now, how does it defensively help me? Not very much, right? It doesn't really defend against anything. No resist, nothing. So we're gonna take that and have it come in and out as often as possible and take as much value as frequently as possible. Rillaboom offensively doesn't KO anything. Defensively doesn't help me either. Moltres defensively helps with Jirachi and Volcarona. Garchomp offensively, it's actually quite solid. He can't guard against it very well, but I'll need some help with Stealth Rocks. Garchomp defensively helps me with Volcarona primarily. That's gonna keep Garchomp at full for Volcarona. Somewhat Jirachi, but he might have Icy Wind. Melmetal helps with Kyurem, Gengar, somewhat Dragonite, and Zeraora offensively is quite good. I'll just need to remove that Landers before we get any ground. So I need to get my Conkeldurr, Super, super nice. Now, what can I guard against? What is the biggest threat to me? I'd say the thing that would give me the hardest time is his Volcarona just going rogue. So I want to make sure I'm in a position where Volcarona is never just having its way. Yeah, so Conk is going to be... I don't have knockoff. I thought I had knockoff. Ooh, that's a problem. That is a problem. He doesn't know I don't have knock, though. So the assumption here is that, okay, if you expect knockoff, you would... I'll still Ice Punch here. He has Trick Room or something? Counter. Oh my god. Not having knockoff actually. What the fuck? I'm in some weird part of the ladder, aren't I? Okay, so now he's gonna obviously just Shadow Ball. Do I need Zero to be at full? I'm gonna let him Shadow Ball and remove Landorus's likely item. Because it's gonna come down to a situation. I don't have Defog, right? So it's very unlikely I can sweep him with Zero Aura. He just has way too much firepower, and I don't do enough to Oko. Like, I'd have to muscle pass Dragonite, I'd have to muscle pass Volcarona, I'd have to muscle pass Kyurem. There's a lot of muscling, so he's probably Focus Sash counter. Garchomp's gonna have to do a lot of heavy lifting in this game, as you're gonna come to see. So Landorus is gonna lose his item here, and depending on what it is, that may end up benefiting me significantly. And then I'm gonna just go crazy with Moltres. Now the issue is I need rocks up, and I don't have much that I can confidently get rocks up on. Again, maybe Jirachi, but everything technically could probably destroy my Garchomp. I want rocks. I don't need rocks. That's not true. I don't need rocks. But he also can't really deal with Melmetal outside of his Volcarona, so he leaves because that Zero Aura switch just had him shook. I did not know I didn't have knockoff. I get the logic of Mach Punch though, and I don't know the metagame well enough to know if I want to keep to have no knock. Like, knock is so nice, particularly versus things like Mach is nice. Mach is just a nice addition, but it's not necessary, particularly in this metagame. Like, I'm looking at the tier, you know, maybe picking off a Heatran here and there, but I'm going to put... Watch, like, I'm desperate in need of Mach Punch. Again, metagame knowledge, mad low. So he came back, so I think he just disconnected, which sucks because, you know, that would have been fun. But again, guys, counter Gengar, man, what the hell. So we got another one here. We're gonna break it down. So Conk offensively impacts what? Super effectively hits 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, Weavile. Mach is nice for Weavile, so it's actually something I forgot about. I can super effectively hit everything except Finny. I could take Ice Punch off too and just commit to close combat and Facade to overwhelm Landers, because a lot of them, you know, the last time I played we were all Spadef, so that's also a possibility. So yeah, Conk super effective. So coming in on Lando, am I speedy? Okay, yeah. So coming in on Lando, Ferrothorn is just, I hammer my opponent's team. So that's gonna be something to look out for. Also destroy him with Rillaboom, Zapdos, and Ferrothorn being out the way. Moltres is just very difficult to guard against if I had Hurricane, but I don't. Garchomp's core purpose in this one is defensively doesn't wall any one thing in particular, but it's really useful. It's really useful, especially if my Conk has its way, because those rocks are going to go a long way versus his Zapdos. Garchomp's going to be an interesting pick. Melmetal guards against really just maybe Finny. Again, these two are just like tanky mons. They don't wall anything in particular, but they're very hard for my opponent to just get rid of. And so Zeraora can literally sweep my opponent if I can get him to get comfortable with his Landorus. And the best way I see myself doing so, well, Blacephalon is the biggest issue for me. And so, Blacephalon, Choice Specs Blacephalon versus Specs Fire Blast would really hammer me. I'm actually, even if he leaves Weavile, so he goes Finny, which is wise. Likely Scald, Nature's Madness. I'm not sure what they run, but Finny was a wise lead, especially if you're fearing Conk versus the wrong thing could be really problematic. But because I'm not Assault Vest or anything like that, the Blacephalon would just eat me alive. So again, I don't know too much about what these things run, but I do want to keep my Zeraora at the utmost. Rillaboom is super nice, but I can afford to if he's really feeling frisky and does scald but doesn't get the burn, which is dope. So this is a free item removal on something. Even if he chooses to scald again and I do get burned, it's not the end of the world. It's really high risk. It's really high risk because Finny's like, if he loses the Finny, then Kong eats him up. That's partly why I'm not super concerned, is because if push comes to shove, I know this has to be his Kongs. Well, doesn't have to, because I think Zapdos are running Hurricane now, so it doesn't have to. But yeah, so he's back. I can see him staying in, but as I said, I guarantee value with a knockoff. The reason I don't want to U-turn, there's a Ferrothorn. The reason I didn't want to U-turn there is because if he stays in, there's nothing I can really go into that threatens. Let's say he stays in and scalds and gets the burn, or doesn't get the burn and I U-turn. There's nothing I can go into that's like Finny's running from, right? Even Zeraora isn't super, because then he has grassy terrain and he can just get the free switch into Landorus and I lose all my momentum. So he goes for the knock. So now he's definitely giving me the Finny now. So he's showing Scald. I can't get my item back, and I'll just remove the Finny's item and keep punishing it. Since Facade's my biggest hitter and I can't use it, then I'll just take this route and say, okay, well, I'll just take my item from you. And this, he has Draining Kiss. So okay, yeah, he's that kind of set. I'm Boots. I thought I was Leftovers. Okay, so I'm Boots, which is good to know. Yeah, this actually got a lot harder. He has this actually got a lot harder, but if I can get him to get comfortable, I know what I'll do. So Garchomp's gonna have to put in a lot of legwork right now. So I'm a Toxic because the Misty Terrain is gonna wear off, and he's, come on, man! I did all that fucking work, so I can Toxic again freely. That sucks a lot. That's a big miss. It's a huge miss right there. But as I said, I'm trying to open up my Zeraora. Me taking that hit, not being Leftovers, actually matters, because now I'm in Blacephalon's range and Weavile and all that. So ideally he does an Earthquake, but he should. So he U-turns and gets me. I don't know why he did that, but I'll take it. As I said, Garchomp's gonna have to put in a lot of legwork right now. So there's a Blacephalon, and he's not Boots, so obviously a Shadow Ball is coming out here. So the assumption is that he specs then, which isn't horrible. Like, Zeraora is a huge issue now. But as I said, I struggle with. But he could go for Mind Blown or Overheat or something like that. Overheat probably kills. I'm just debating whether or not I care enough to keep Garchomp. Moltres is pretty good, actually. Moltres is actually fairly good versus his team. He doesn't switch very easily into Moltres. Conk. Is Conk ever? Is Conk ever doing anything? Yes, it is. What do I want to do here? I go Blacephalon. I knock off. He gets to go back to Landorus. I can sweep him with Grassy Glide if I play this well. I'll just EQ. He's gonna kill me with probably Spec Shadow Ball. Yeah. So knocks me out there unless he's Modest Scarf. Oh wow. I might have just lost. I haven't, but Modest Scarf. Interesting. So that just fucked my whole shit up because I lost my Zero Aura, which is my core win condition. He's not even Boots Zapdos, which is odd. I'm surprised he went. Well, since he has a Spadef drop, I guess not. So I probably can't win. I can, but without my Kong's Guts Orb. So, well, I just learned something there. Modest Scarf. Because I don't have a Ghost Resist, so I got to be very careful about this. So now he should just go for like a Thunderbolt or really whatever. And I don't have, but because he's, I think, offensive and seemingly spexed, I don't have Ice Punch either. I got to be mindful of a lot of these. I have, what do I have? Because again, this was not a team designed for the ladder. So, superpower. So it's not a team designed for the ladder. Like if I don't have Ice Punch, then Zapdos is a real problem for me. This was designed for a person. So if it's a case of, you know, if when Devin built the team, he was like, okay, I'm gonna try to counter style this person in particular, then like just laddering with it, there might be edits that I need to make. But let's say I don't have a Ghost Resist, so I need to be very careful around stuff like Dragapult and Blacephalon. And because Moltres is such a random mon, it might not do super well in this particular style of team. Or I'll just have to switch the Moltres to like Max Spadef or something, since I'm going back to, since it's not Hurricane, because you know, it was obviously built for, you know, what was I just struggling with? Blacephalon, Heatran. What's the nature for that? I forgot. I forgot what the nature is. It's plus Spadef. What the hell is it? Not sassy, not careful either. Calm. There we go. Man, you can tell it's been well, you know, when you're forgetting natures, you got a problem, Houston. So a lot of Spadef. I'm not even sure what. There's a lot of learning that's gonna have to. I'm gonna have to reacclimate to the meta game. So your boy used his special ability Intimidate once again to get another win. But nah, I definitely should have lost that second game because he used the things that he needed to do well to get the ghost types down. So the ghost types going. And Weaviles, I think we faced a Weavile on every team so far. I don't know. Lecky. I don't have a, I'm tripping. I just said I don't have a ground type. I got 2 electric immunities. So much like the last one, we're going to aim to annihilate him with our Garchomp. So I'm learning a bit more. Again, we're like in the 1500s. So again, we're going to just keep going until we get this account in a decent standing. So Konk's core purpose in this one with the guts, and I actually learned from the last thing, like I actually do want to keep it, so meaning keep my item. It does make a big difference, particularly if I'm facing a Finny. I can't afford to not have it, so I should have been wary of knockoff there and acted appropriately in order to ensure that that's not the mon that got knocked, you know. So Conk is phenomenal matchup wise versus at least 4. Zapdos and Lecky are problematic. So offensively is great. Defensively, again, not very. Rillaboom, once Ferrothorn has been overwhelmed, just eats his team alive. Absolutely eats his team alive with Stealth Rocks up. Moltres guards against, because it's now a defensive wall. It guards well against nothing in particular special wise, but it would be a nuisance to his Ferrothorn, for example. But that's about it. And, you know, keeping Landorus at bay, but they're running Toxic, so, you know, Garchomp, if I can toxic his Landers or just use Moltres to overwhelm his Landers to the point where Zeraora sweeps, that's also a thing because that wins after a bulk up. Garchomp's core purpose is to shut down Lecky. I don't want to use Zeraora for that because it might have like explode or something, explosion. So Garchomp, bait in the Landers, shut down Lecky. In fact, that's what I'm going to start off with is Garchomp because of that. You know, this for his Weavile on the off chance that's his go-to. So getting the party started with the Zapdos. Oh, there's so many ways we can go about this. I'm just debating whether or not I care enough about rocks. Let him Brave Bird, so be it. I actually don't have a lot of defense. I have a lot of speed. What would this much speed be for? Again, I'm sure Devin has his reasons. I just don't know the metagame well enough. And then that might be a thing of, well, you know, that would have worked if it wasn't a ladder. And he trained our else with def. So I think that this might be like going back to Oras Chomp, which was like 293. It wasn't even this much. This isn't even, old Chomp. That's probably why I took so much from the Earth. I was like, damn, that did a lot. But, you know, I was like, okay, well, maybe that's probably just the roll these days. I know people aren't running Jolly Bish, I'm sure, but it's like 291. Yeah, old Chomp. So obviously, if he locks himself into any one move, whether it be fighting or flying, I have the appropriate switching. If I switch into the wrong thing, let's say I'm like, okay, he's gonna Brave Bird, which doesn't really make sense to do. No, that's not true. If you're expecting me not to be a defensive Chomp, you could Brave Bird, but then you're taking Ruskin. I guess in all situations, CC probably makes a little more sense because you're taking recoil from the Brave Bird and the Rocky. So it's likely going to CC here, which drops his defense. But CC's a little easier to switch into with Moltres because, you know, he risks the burn, and I don't have flying is just a harder type to switch into generally. And then after that, what am I trying to say? So yeah, with the Garchomp thing, if I were to, so let's say I'm going to toxic him, you have to question, okay, well, does that toxic really move me towards my game plan, right? I mean, my end game strategy. And my end game strategy is to sweep him with Zeraora by beating down his Landers. And for me to beat down his Landers, I would need to beat it down with less likely Garchomp, Conk, the Moltres, or even the Zeraora itself, you know, having it come in and get knocked off. But stealth rocks are an important component to that, right? Every time it comes in, it loses 12%, especially if it doesn't have leftovers. So those repeated switch-ins are going to rack up to the point where you can no longer counter my Zeraora after a bulk up. So, you know, that's where I was going with that. So again, like, I guess either it's just this part of the ladder loves Weavile, or Weavile is just still that guy. So Conk is bang bang. Remember, we learned our lesson, right? What did we learn? What did we do well? And I recommend for anybody within this section of the ladder to only focus on what you learned and what you did well. Only. I recently have somebody I'm working with that, you know, he came to me with the goal of like, okay, I want to be respected. I want when I go into tournaments, I have a good shot at winning, and you know, and so at the time he'd been playing for 5 years and only hit 1600 like a couple of years ago. So I don't think he hit it in Sword and Shield. And when he came, we was, you know, in the 1300s more or less. And then again, the process is the process. We've done this with hundreds of people, right? And so this isn't theory. And so he followed the process, and days he did not want to follow the process. He wanted to get frustrated. He was frustrated. He wanted to, you know, dang it, these lucky players and all these things, and just stuck to the process. And because of that, he managed to hit 1600 in 6 days when he's never even been to. I mean, I think when we started the session, he just hit 1400 for the first time. There's a massive difference between 1400 and 1600. Just like there's a massive difference between 1600 and 1800, and there's a massive difference between 1800 and 2000, right? So huge accomplishment. And so if you're in this part of the ladder, guys, please just listen. You don't know what you're doing if you're not getting the result. No egos, no, there's nothing wrong with that. Just trust the process and you'll be good, I promise. So probably should have mystical fire. I know that fucking Dragapult is gonna rear its ugly ass head. So Melmetal, woo, Deanie. So I mean, the assumption here, well, you'd never Bolt Strike. So I know V create / U-turn, right? I didn't think he'd U-turn either. I think that was a poor play to U-turn, because if you're expecting typical Chomp, you'd have gotten punished heavily if you went for that. So likely Scald. Found out we're heavy duty boots, so this time I'm going to play my Melmetal a bit differently. Ooh, Nature's Madness. I wish I went to Rillaboom now. Oh no. So the question is, actually I didn't form a game plan because I was telling the story. As you can see, I'm playing reactively. I still have a loose game plan of Zero or whatever, but that only depends on if the Victini is in Scarf. So now I'm going to start taking back control of the game. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, say Landorus / Corviknight come in here, because Landorus / Corviknight come in here, right? Excellent. So we're going to take back control of the game. I want Stealth Rocks up to punish that Victini. And I want to also oh, you're tripping you turning on a Garchomp. Okay, so Weavile is in. Now this is a concerning mon. And I've lost a lot of the value that my Melmetal offered. But what I'm gonna do, you know, we lost our item with the Finny last time, and he could also straight up triple axle. So what I kind of want to do is bluff that I have Mach Punch. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to play Conk. That's not true. Conk's damn good. But what is it going to come in on? That's the issue, right? It comes in on Corviknight, I suppose. So I'm going to... Otherwise, I'm going to just lose my... Yeah, I knew I was just going to lose my Melmetal's item. Or my Moltres' item. And it's just not necessary to do that right now. So what I'll do here is go to my Conk Scare mod. I didn't expect Corviknight. But because I'm so fast, I'll outspeed him and destroy him, yeah. So I didn't expect Corviknight, but I figured if he did, because I figured Finny would just be a better play there. But now Corviknight has been removed, so what does that allow now, right? Rillaboom. So he's not heavy duty boost, which means Zero Aura has a great time, but Rillaboom's Grassy Glides are incredibly here. But he went for U-turn last time, which implies that he doesn't have an ice move. And so V creates, and he's already at 72%. I love it. I love it. So we Earthquake here. We want Landorus to come in. That's why Earthquake. I could have Toxic, but we don't want Finny to come in. Because remember, we want Landorus Toxic so that Zero Aura can destroy him, right? So he goes for Stealth Rock. That's perfectly fine. We want that. We want that. Remember, guys, we want that. And at this point, he gets 2-hit KO'd. Every mon on this team gets 2-hit KO'd by Rillaboom. So we want him to stay. We want him to, right? We want to punish him. We want him to want an Earthquake. Go ahead, U-turn. No, he's Toxic. So now he's at 77% and he has Stealth Rock. We have Stealth Rocks up. So he's like, nah, I'm winning. But we don't want Garchomp to get destroyed, right? We don't want Garchomp to disappear. He should never U-turn here. He Earthquakes. I figured as much. You never want that because we could Flamethrower here. Let me think. Well, the core purpose of this Moltres here is to guard against what? I mean, it helps with Weavile. It does. It's heavy duty boots. I'm going to Flamethrower here because, again, Zero Aura is going to destroy his team. We want to bait him to Toxic, but he U-turns. I disagree because you could have just hard switched. But now he's significantly weakened to the point where, again, these two heavy hitters are going to go to town. And now my Melmetal is a huge issue. He Whirlpooled. Okay, that's good because he's going to weaken me significantly. But I disagree with him allowing himself to take this double iron bash. He does remove my metal, but as I said, I could go to Zero Aura, but you want to go for the thing that takes the most value. So we're going to control the terrain. And we're still bluffing Conk having Mach Punch. So the Weavile is very unlikely to go for Swords Dance because I have a full health Conk. So Blanders gets dropped. And now we just click Zero Aura over and over and over and over and over and over. More Zero Aura, more Zero Aura. So again, we're bluffing the Mach Punch. So he's very unlikely to go for anything. Okay, so he goes for Swords Dance, which surprises me. But I guess he's like, okay, well, I don't feel like I'm gonna win, so I'm gonna do that. But that's why I kept my Zero Aura at full. So I knew even if he Swords Dances, still fine by me. So yeah, I could have predicted his Dragapult there, but I couldn't risk him Swords Dancing again. There's no reason to make those ridiculous, like, oh, I need to do a million different things at the same time. And so I'm gonna go to my Moltres here. Because I know I take a Draco Meteor because I'm max Spadef. And I'm sorry about the lag. I don't know why that's been going down. I actually took a lot more from that than I expected. Let's be modest. But Finny's at 45%. Okay. Okay, I'll let him Draco again. I'll roost. He Dracos again, then Zero Aura just bulks up and wins. I should KO Victini from the range is that. He should try to sack Finny anyway. Yeah. I probably should bulk up again here. But I should win. Even if the Victini survives, it shouldn't be able to knock me out. And then Rillaboom, that's not true. I guarantee you win if I just switch to Chomp too. Let me run this calc. I just find a hard time believing the equivalent of a Choice Banded Zero Aura does not KO Victini from here. Zero Aura, OU bulk up. +1 Victini. Let me put the +1 defense too, just in case he gets the V-Create off. Knockoff does 83 to 99. He's gone. Be gone! Watch him be max HP. Now, honestly, the play here is really just to go to Chomp, but I'm lazy with that. I still don't lose even if that doesn't happen, but you know, like, I set up this whole thing for Zero Aura to do his damn thing, you know. So, and I think even if this V-Create roll is correct, 65 to 77, you need to get a super high roll. So yeah, Knockoff knocks him out as I expected. And yeah, so even if you got the V-Create off there, Weavile's Ice Shard was never killing me. Because if V-Create is doing 65, there's Weavile's Ice Shard is probably doing maybe 10%. Yeah, 9 to 10%. So you need to crit the Ice Shard too. And obviously Zero Aura is dumb fast. One of the few things that has Dragapult running for his money. So let me actually give me a sec to make sure that I don't know why I've been lagging lately. Alright guys, so I did a disk cleanup. It feels smoother. So hopefully that makes a difference because my computer is never like I don't use my computer enough for like heavy duty tasks for it to be a slow, like, you know, I'm not what would be I don't game, like, you know, like very tasking. I mean, rendering on Camtasia, a little Pokemon videos, nothing. I could see maybe backed up. I'm backed up, but other than that, you know. So yeah. Conk. Weavile, man. Gee, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I haven't used Ice Punch one time, so you know there is that part of me that's like, I should take Ice Punch off for, cause I am rarely gonna use Ice Punch. It does a little. Actually, Ice Punch Ice Punch only matters versus Garchomp and Landorus, like quad weeks, because Zapdos takes a little less. Like Ice Punch does a little bit more than Facade, like 10% more or 10 base power more. So it's not negligible, but whatever. But Conk here, offensively hammers my opponent, hammers him. I just have to click the correct move. That's the nature of Conk. Rillaboom, Finny's a nuisance to this team in particular, but yeah, Rillaboom, damn good. After the Scizor has been removed, and let's say Zapdos is killed. It just depends on which sets and all that stuff, but those two are going to be nuisances. Moltres, scams, but Moltres guards decently against Dragapult, because again that Draco did a ton to me. So I need to either pump more Spadefin or something, because that wasn't cool how much that did. Garchomp shuts down Scizor. Metal assists with honestly almost everything except that damn Dragapult. So yeah, I'm gonna aim to sweep him with Zeraora. The only difference is that it's a different ground type, but if I poison the ground type, then it's the same shit. Zeraora destroys. So since he struggles so much with good leads, man, I forgot that I struggled with the Finny last time. But the last one was a draining. So Nature's Madness, I guess, is just the standard. Okay, I'll Ice Punch first. So it is Zapdos. That's actually a really important Ice Punch. Ice Punch has 90. So EQ does a little bit more. I'm gonna EQ first. Right. What I'm trying to do is get the Misty Terrain, get him comfortable with the Misty Terrain. So I'm gonna do is go to, oh, he actually go, this is perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better couple turns. He should never stay in here. What? That's such a bad, I could have flamethrowed and killed the Scizor with the Rocky Helmet, but now he can't go to Finny. Excellent. Now this is obviously concerning, but he should just Shadow Ball hard, knowing that I'm defensive chomp. Like, you're like, okay, well, I'm pretty comfortable. Draco's though. Oh, that's the roll I'm expecting. Now, I do lose a lot of ground, but he does go to Zapdos instead of. I didn't mean to go to. This Zapdos actually really a nuisance to me. He's confident he's faster than me. Well, obviously, because the Draco did nothing. So what I'm gonna do here, he does have the tools to give me a hard time, because what I don't want is for Finny to come in here and, let's say he can Hurricane here if he has it, but he should go to Finny, right? And so he can't just recklessly go to his Garchomp this time. I mean, what's the downside of Ice Punching here? It's Misty, it's super high risk for him to. Downside is that his Scizor could come in and whatever. Yeah, I was like, Scizor could come in, but that allows Garchomp to come in. And it's the Misty Terrain wear down, which is key. So EQ here should go to Finny, right, and the Misty Terrain. So now the Finny is significantly more weakened. Could defog, but I don't think he has defog on this Whirlpool. Okay. So I get to bash here. This can't switch back into Chomp. So he doesn't have and my goal here is to destroy. Man, I'm kind of pissed that he just wasted the Scizor. Okay, so he's just gonna waste the Finny too. This might kill, yeah. So he wasted the Finito. I think all the switching around, that's the thing about not having a game plan, which is why I emphasize it so much. But around this part of the ladder, don't focus too much on that. You just want to get your mindset right, which is, you know, what did I learn? What did I do well? Right? So a couple options here. You know, Conk at this point, he can't guard against my Conks anything. Like, let's say I'll give him this. Yeah, the alternative would be, because he's just gonna knock off, right? I think I can get a lot of value here, because I get to knock here. I'm guaranteed value, yeah. Knocks. And then I figured Zapdos would be his go-to, and I knew Ice Punch wouldn't kill. Maybe Ice Punch plus what's it called, maybe, but I knew Ice Punch straight up wouldn't kill. So the question is, okay, is this Hurricane, all these things, which is likely to be the case. It's Banded Weavile, so you know, I have to factor that in. But he's doing a great job keeping his Hippowdon at the utmost, because that's really what I want, is Hippowdon, so that my Zeraora can destroy him. But he's doing a great job. But then again, I'm not giving him the opportunity to do anything with it. So I guess there's also that. This is a big turn. If I close combat, I have him. But if he Hurricanes, because I don't want Zeraora to take too much damage. Okay, I'll have to go to Zeraora here. You know, he does Hurricane. Okay. I'm curious as to how much Plasma Fist will do. He took a ton from Ice Punch. Cause am I max attack? Oh, I am max attack. So he's defensive. Again, the Hippo is a huge. But my Moltres low key is a problem. I'll have to force the Hippo in. Yeah, because I know he's gonna just roost. I force Hippo in here to take his item. So it's 32% now. This allows for Rillaboom to come in. He could Rocks. My Garchomp is a huge issue as well. My defensive Pokemon are the issue. He actually EQs, which is like the best situation, because now this allows for me to U-turn on Zapdos or Scizor. Ideally Scizor, but even if he leaves it in, it's not the end of the world, because it does free my Conkeldurr to come in. Yeah, figured as much. Scizor. So now the question is, who takes the most value, right? I could go to Garchomp here, Flamethrower, and then I invite in his Dragapult if he doesn't do what I expect. And Dragapult would get a 2-hit KO here. I could also go to Moltres, but I could also go to Conk and Scizor is probably not faster than Mike. Well, I get to find out here. Let me see who's. Well, I don't get to find out. But I get to go to. So I'm gonna see. I don't think he's switching. He does go Zapdos. Okay, so he does go Zapdos. I get to go to Zeraora once again. CC did 43. I figured he'd Hurricane though. So this is perfect, because now I get to Plasma Fist. He wants that Conk gone. Unless it's Defog, and I get to get some Grassy Terrain, which is great. Unless it's Defog, probably Toxic on the Conk. But I get to go to Conk here and hammer, because he should Earthquake, or he should EQ, or I mean he should slack off for Stealth Rock here. EQ doesn't make any sense because Rillaboom came in last time. Right, and so this puts you in a position where it's like, okay, are you going to say sacks to Zapdos? So I'm glad Zapdos is gone. So all I need to do now is punish that Scizor. I haven't shown Mach Punch, so you should always go Dragapult here. And so now at this point, Moltres is super, super good. Draco did 60. Sandstorm plus 2 Shadow Balls. I don't think he's confident Shadow Ball would kill me. Okay, I'll just Ice Punch here. He U-turn. Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. Scizor. Yep. That's perfect. So we get to knock. I'm not gonna CC. Knock, punish it. Knock does a ton. Punishes the. Gets rid of the heavy duty boots. Yeah. Should go back to Polt here. But I'll give up the Conk. Oh, he doesn't. So, alright, that's game then. The timer plus the lag is starting to get to. I just don't get why my computer's been lagging. Also, I don't think he did a disc cleanup that fast. So he locks into Shadow Ball. Garchomp's to play here because Garchomp does just enough so he can't switch back in. And he can't switch into anything on Chomp without getting punished. If I go to Moltres, he can start stalling, right? And so me going to Garchomp means, okay, I Toxic your Hippo. That gets punished, and now Rillaboom just comes in and eats you alive. So that Moltres can come in and do what it does. So Rillaboom comes in here, no drawback, because it's confirmed banded Weavile. So, actually, is it? Yeah, I can just Grassy Glide twice. There's no point in. Based on how much Knock did, this is a Spadef Hippo. So I one shot for show. And then it forces Weavile into Ice Shard. Because I think Polt will die to a Banded Glide for my Adamant Ruler too. So Weavile comes and has to Shard. Excuse me. I'll let it. Yep. Actually, I should have switched my Rillaboom out there. That was actually a misplay. It won't end up mattering, but that wasn't the correct play. Because now he gets to switch into Polt. And it's just a little friskier than it should be. So, yeah, that was a misplay on my end. I ruse to see what he goes for. Shadow Ball. But as I said, I'm not taking shit from that. So we're Scorching Sands here, and that'll be it. Because I'll be outside. As long as I'm outside of Ice Shard range. So it gets to Spadef drop. But as I said, now I just go to Zero. So again, actually the play there was to just sack my Chomp. Instead of Rillaboom. Because Rillaboom at least guarantees that the moment the Weavile locks itself into something, forces the Ice Shard lock. So now I just go to Zero and Plasma Fist. His best player would be to go to Weavile and try to hope that I choke. But then again, I did enough to where he can't switch in on rocks. So, like an Ice Shard crit never kills Moltres. So, you know, he never can win this. Alright, I'd assume it can do. No way you're doing 61%. Yeah, tripping. So, that's another one. So let me make sure I check on why I'm lagging. Alright, y'all. So hopefully that helped. I went on a damn deleting thumbnails, deleting just. And I'm sure there's like probably 2 years of shit backed up. So you know, hopefully that helped. Got it. Okay, so Conkeldurr, my brother Conkeldurr. So I probably need more SPDF on this Moltres. I got it. Here. Screw it. What I do probably need though is that young mystical fire though, because there are times where I'm like, man, if I had mystical fire, this Feeny wouldn't be as big of an issue. But yeah, and Dragapult. So Conk, upon attacking, if it hits, can kill every Pokemon on this team except maybe Volk, depending on the set. Well, if I hit that right move, everybody dead. So, guards horribly against Knock, so that's likely what I'm gonna click. But I can't actually. Did I use Ice Points last game? Kinda. Oh, yeah. I'm thinking. Watch me need Ice Punch like no other. But Mach has its purposes. Like Mach would be dope in a game like this. Also, Rilla doesn't pick up big KOs, but I can see it eating the opponent up later on. I can certainly see that. So Conk, huge value. Real Boom mid, doesn't really defend against anything either, so it's we'll see as the game goes and then the sets progress if I'll ever use it. Moltres guards against Volcarona with a Toxic, guards against Rillaboom, guards against Bisharp somewhat. I don't know the Bisharp speed tier, if it's Jolly, whatever, but we also have a Conk and a Garchomp for that. But it's important for Polt, Melmetal, Volcarona, and so defensively, high impact. I just have to be wary of Mamoswine, but even then, like, I technically probably could lead Moltres and win the game. Probably could just lead Moltres and win the game, if I'm honest. I don't want to lose my item, but Mamoswine is his rocker, so very unlikely Mamo can touch Molti. The removal of Mamo. So we're gonna gear up to a Zeraora end game here. Zeraora phase 1 is gonna involve shutting down that Swino. So I'm gonna roost here to see what. That's not why it's Dragapult. This is where I say Mystical Fire would just be amazing, right? If he Shadow Ball locks on Mystical Fire next turn, I take value and then I can darts, huh? Okay, I did not see that coming. Life Orb darts, gotcha. So obviously fire move coming out, but that's fine. DDs, disagree with that DD. It's a bad DD by him. I'm going to Ice Punch because it lets me hit his Volk once. If he switch, he should go hard Volk here, but Ice. Okay, so it gives me Pult, great, especially a physical Pult. Special Pult, okay, but the physical one is pretty troublesome to me because it can boost. Special Pult, I have speed, I have a few things that can just tank it. So this guy seems like he's like one of them types that just go all in. I respect it. Please hit. Thank you. That's important. It's like, oh god. Oh, you thought, jam, here comes the lum. But yeah, SPDF Moltres just shuts him down now. So he actually goes for Buzz. Just kind of surprised by. Yeah, SPDF Moltres just shuts you down. So you might have just lost the game, quite frankly. This is your rocker, so I am surprised that he went Mamo. It makes me wonder if he does have like a Rock Slide or something like that. I'd find that very surprising. So I am tempted to go to Conk, but Conk just eats him, If he doesn't have it, then I just come back in with Moltres anyway. So let's just go to the Melmetal. So he only has Stealth Rock. Okay, never mind. Okay then. So we just go to Rillaboom here. As I said, Rillaboom isn't high value. If he decides to Ice Shard here, it shows me his moveset. He should have. Okay, so he leaves it in. Muni is gonna probably try to crash, which is fine with Melmetal's Endeavor. Okay, so I know his moveset now. Moltres definitely shuts this down. which means that if he chooses to go for the earthquake, I just give up my. So yeah, at this point, Moltres literally just wins. It literally just wins. So this is a situation where you've identified your high defensive impact Pokemon, and all you have to do is remove the things that beat it. And so that's what I've done. I identified that. It's funny, if I am a faster Melmetal, you're gonna take a lot of punishment here. But I no longer need my superpower here if you had it. The reason I am thinking about this even to this even a bit is because Conk doesn't have his item yet. So I'm thinking if he can't kill me with EQ, he could double iron though. Double iron probably does it. So actually Moltres makes a lot of sense here. He could Thunder Punch, I suppose, if he's double iron. Yeah, like super high burn chance. So Thunder Punch. Okay, so he does have it. So now he literally just can't beat this Moltres. I'm gonna hit him with this Young Defog real quick. Get rid of them rocks. I'll roost one small because I don't want to deal with the para, so I'm gonna switch soon. High horsepower. Okay, I'd rather you do that. I have no problem because that can't burn. That's not doing any damage. I mean, that can't hex. That's not doing any damage. He actually is doing 41%. So some Melmetal, probably max attack. And high horsepower can miss. That can miss. And once this Melmetal is gone, I mean, so many things get opened up. I mean, so many things are already opened up, but you know. And here comes the lag again. It's usually when I skip turns. Theory. But no. I'll just switch this out. Go to Garchomp, let him high horsepower. Easier than a Thunder Punch or high horsepower. It's not gonna kill me. Shoot, didn't even do. It's not even a 2-hit KO. And what this does is I could Rocks. Rocks would guard against a Sash Bish. The Melmetal dies. Yeah, I'll actually just Rocks here. In case it's some kind of Focus Sash nonsense. I get to get the free switch into Conk here. So Oster Volcarona. We go to Moltres here and Roost. Say Psychics. Quiver Dances, which I think was a misplay. He should have just went for the crit. Now, even with a crit, like you had a shot to luck your way through there. But now, even with a Spadef drop, it's irrelevant because you have a Bisharp and a Rillaboom left. So yeah, it's irrelevant. And I just KO both of your Mons left. So, I guess the one time where Flamethrower is better than Mystical Fire, but I am faster. It seems it's adamant. So Moltres comes through. I do have things to do today. But yeah, guys, rounded up to 1,700. That's what, 50 something more points. It's about 4 or 5 more games. Well, actually no, because I got 20 points from that guy, so it's probably 3 more games. If it wasn't lagging, because this lag is actually starting to get on my nerves, because it's chopping the game up, and I'm like, well, I'm thinking about not timing out because of the lag, and I'm also trying to think the game through, and I don't want it to be a poor viewing experience because of it. And I've deleted all the stuff, so I'm gonna have to do some old school like PC cleansing, or I don't know if it's a hardware issue. I haven't been using the computer a lot, so well, not to play, I guess to type books. But yeah, guys, three things you need to do depending on where you fall. Go in the description below, click the link that says Academy Discord. Go in there. We're super friendly. We're excited to see you, and we want to just see the community grow. This is just the beginning, so if you feel like, oh, it's too late, no, we're doing a revamp right now. We removed all of the toxic users, and it's just crazy. So if you did join at one point and that was a thing, then come on back. If you want one-on-one training with me, also click the link in the description down below. Sign up, pay your bucks, and we'll be working together pronto. As I said, I'm working with a few people right now, but yeah, it's one of those things. The longer you wait, the more time you waste, the more bad habits that you're building up, and the harder it's going to be for me to teach you in the future. So if it is something you've been thinking about and you've been postponing, don't worry. Scheduling is a breeze, and the other coaches, everybody works around to ensure that's a phenomenal experience so you can be the man, the one at the top. So click the link in the description below for that. And lastly, if you want the book, if you want to do it in a more personalized manner, I guess the coaching would be most personalized. If the book, while I am in the process of writing something that makes that book look like child's play. Still a damn good book, still the best one out. So it will do until that second version is out. And if you've gotten the first one, guys, oh my goodness, when you get the second one, it's crazy. It's crazy. You'll learn more about yourself maybe than anything you've ever read. And I'm not even exaggerating. So I'm excited to be back. Thank you for watching. We'll get back up to whatever in the next video. Another long one like this. That's what she said. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
You're always going after it. Always going after it. Always going after it. And if there's a challenge that ensues, oh, good. I want to see how I stack up to that. So you go after it. You go after it. And it's just, it's fun. It's like you get a chance to compete against opponents, and you get a chance to see where you stack up against them. It's like, I want to see. Maybe I'm not good enough today, but that's fine. I'll be good enough the next time I see you, though. You know, and you get a chance to always measure yourself, and it's just fun to do that.